Good morning. How many of you miss being in school yet? I do. I do. Yeah, this is getting kind of old, but I guess there's some advantages too, right? Yeah. So, anyway, that's part of your question for the day. Okay. So yesterday we started talking about animals, and Genesis 1 talks a lot about animals and God creating animals. So, kind of a big deal. God created the animals. Yeah. We've talked a lot about different kingdoms of living things this year, from the bacteria on up through plants. Animals. So let's get into characteristics of animals. By the way, if you haven't read the first section in this chapter, please do so sometime today. All right, so here we go. Animal characteristics. Animals are made up of many cells. Single-celled organisms are either bacteria or protists. So animals are made up of many cells. So animals have a nucleus and specialized structures inside the cells called organelles. We spent some time way back, probably like September, talking about this. We made, remember we made the bread and we put the jelly on it and the marshmallows and all that stuff, all the different structures, all the organelles. So animals have a nucleus. This makes them different from some other things, okay? Bacteria don't have a nucleus, so animals have a nucleus of specialized structures called organelles. And we've talked about the endoplasmic reticulum and the nucleolus, nuclear membrane, and we talked about mitochondria and ribosomes, and yeah. Animals depend on other living things in the environment for food. So animals are not autotrophic, they are heterotrophic. So they have to eat something. So they might be eating plants or they might be eating other animals, okay? So they depend on other living things for their food. Animals digest their food. So proteins, carbohydrates, fats are broken down into simpler things that we then use to build our cells. So we break down proteins into, let me try that again. We break down proteins into, very good. I heard that, amino acids. So the amino acids, then we can recombine and make new proteins. Carbs we use for food, fats we use a little, well, carbs, I'm sorry, we use for energy. Fats we use a little bit for energy. We also use for cell membranes. Remember that phospholipid membrane? And fats also line nerves. But we have to get all this stuff from somewhere. So we digest our food and break it down into simpler things, and then we reuse that. Many animals move from place to place. Animals can move. Now, there are some animals that do not move, okay? But many, 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 many animals are able to move. Animals are capable of reproducing sexually. Some can also reproduce asexually. We'll talk a little bit about those maybe in one of the later chapters, but animals can reproduce sexually. Sorry, got a little junk in my throat. How do animals meet their needs? Adaptations for obtaining energy. So we need to obtain food. We talked about this a minute ago. Okay, so some things are herbivores, eat only plants or parts of plants. So if you're an herbivore, you have to eat more and more and more and more and more, since plants don't contain as much energy as other types of foods. So organisms that are herbivores, elephants, cows, horses, they have to eat a lot of food because those types of energy or those types of food sources don't contain as much energy. Okay, a moose, a rabbit, squirrel, herbivores. Carnivores. What's the difference between a carnivore and an herbivore? lions, wolves, some kind of bobcat. So of course, carnivores, they eat other animals. And then there's omnivores. These things, I don't know if you guys know Joey, but omnivores, these eat both plants and animals, okay? I guess humans might be omnivores. And some things eat detritus, that's dead or decaying material. So physical adaptations, some things have hard outer coverings. There's a little place near me, a little tortoise park. I walk by it every day, and I see tortoises there all the time. Hard outer covering, they don't have a whole lot of predators. These little bugs here, hard outer covering, protection. Size is definitely a physical adaptation which protects things. A moose doesn't have a lot of predators because it's big. Elephants, not a lot of predators because they're big. Mimicry. So we have two kinds of snakes here. One is super venomous coral snake. One is not. So some animals mimic other animals to make them think that they're something else, okay? Red on black, you're a dead man, Jack. Red on yellow, it's okay, fellow, or something like that. Camouflage. So when you look down on a fish, it blends in because the top side's very dark. How about the underside of a fish? Yeah, it's very light. So when you look up at a fish from below it, it blends in with the surface, okay? So camouflage is a physical adaptation for animals. Where are we here? Behavioral adaptations. So some things release chemicals to get away from predators. You all know about that. Hey, if you run faster, you get the food. If you run slow, you don't get the food. Or the opposite way around, you run faster, you get away, so you're not the food. Or if you run slow, you don't get away and you are the food. So being fast is definitely a behavioral adaptation. Traveling in groups, herds, schools, packs, it's a behavioral adaptation. It's protection, safety. You get more food. Okay, oops, don't look at that yet. All right, this is where we're gonna end for today. All right, I'll go big, okay? So we're gonna end for today. This is just characteristics of animals, all right? So, not a lot to do today. All you do is watch this, respond to my question, and I guess go do your math homework or something, but just a couple other notes here. Remember, all files that you submit to me in Moodle need to be a PDF file. I've sent many of you emails saying, hey, it's not a PDF, I can't open it. I work on 2 computers. One I can't open documents on, I can only open PDFs. So make sure you're submitting PDFs. Secondly, if you have zeros in RenWeb, take a look, get those things into me as soon as possible. I'm gonna start getting strict on deadlines here. Okay, we've been doing this online stuff for a few weeks now. We should be in the hang of it. We should be able to get everything in on time. Okay, have a good weekend. See you guys later. Maybe. Don't look at that yet. I'm still trying to end it.